Hello everyone and welcome to this video. So today I'm going to show you how you can create a simple Flask application and deploy that application inside a Kubernetes cluster. Okay. So first of all, what we will do is we will create a simple Flask app and we will create its Docker file and we will push that to the Docker Hub. Okay. So first let's follow okay, I'm recording this video at the same time. These will be the different step that I will follow. Okay, so I will first go here and I'll just do git initialize. Okay, and here I'll just add everything right now. Okay, and so for the first step, uh, so one will be my the root folder for the first step, right? And the second, for the second step, I will create another folder. But let's first switch to the first task. I'll go to the Flask series and I'll just cd into one. Here there is nothing, there's just the readme file, and this is the readme file. Okay, here I will create first applications. Okay, let me just close this and let me just close this as well. And here I'll just close this. Here I'll just create the virtual environment first. So I want to first install this, but it's good practice to first create the virtual environment. Okay, so I'll just do virtual env venv. Okay, and I also make sure that I don't add this venv to my git file. Okay, so I'll just add here dot git ignore and I'll just add venv. Okay, so if I do so, then if I do git status, right, then the when file is not added. So I'll just add dot git ignore. Here you can see there is nothing added, right? And what I will do is I will first install the Flask. So I'll just go to one again. Beep. If I let me just zoom this a bit, or maybe I'll just open a new terminal. I go to one. I'll just zoom a bit. Okay, and I'll just git status. Okay. Okay, so git status, right? So git, I'll just start this with the first thing, initial commit. Okay, and I'll just do git status. So if you want to make this thing to work as this status, then you have to do something like git config. You have to do alias, so alias.st as status. Okay, so if you do so, then you just, if you do just git st, then it will show you the status. Okay, now I will create the folder mkdir source. This will be inside this I will put my Flask application, and inside this I will create an application, create a Python file. This will be just the simple app.py file. Okay, this one. Okay, okay, import. Okay, let me zoom this a bit. App.py. Okay, I think this will be enough. So import from, and also install my dependencies. So I'll just go here, source venv bin activate and pip install Flask. And at the same time I'll install pip install gunicorn. So you can directly run your Flask application with just Python, because Flask already comes with a debug server, so it already comes with the web server. But if you want to host your application in a production, then you need some WSGI production ready server like gunicorn. Okay, yes, so okay, I have installed the two things. So let me now import Flask. So from Flask I will import Flask, right? And I will create the app. equals to Flask, and I will just send its name. You can just go along the Flask. If you go here and Flask quick start, then you can just copy this thing as well, right? So I'll just copy this instead, and then I'll just paste it here. So hello world, and I'll just do this index, and I'll say welcome to index base, welcome to Flask app. Okay, so this will be my Flask app. Now I will try to run this app. So python src app.py. Okay, so here this is the index, right? But we already have installed this gunicorn. So let's run this gunicorn. Okay. One thing you can run directly is by using name property. So if name main, then you can just app.run and just debug equals to true. Okay, and host equals to, let's say, 0.0.0.0, and port equals to, let's say, I want to run this application in 8082. Okay, let's do this, and let's run python src app.py. Here you can see localhost 8082. I'll just go to localhost 8082. Then you can see this welcome to Flask app application. Okay, now so we have created the Flask application. So let's commit these changes. Okay, so git add, so let's check the src tab. Okay, so git add src. If I do git status, then git commit add python Flask app. Okay, I have added the python Flask app. Now I will run this application. So if you have we have like gunicorn also, so let's run this application from gunicorn as well, right? So gunicorn, since I am in this one folder, I just will change my directory to src. Okay, and then what I will run is I will run my application name is app. So app dot, so it will be, so my main app, sorry, so main slash app, and my working directors will be 2, and let's say I will bind this to 0.0.0.0 to 8083. Okay, okay, wait, let me, okay, src, oh sorry, so this will be my app file, because my file is the app. So inside the app I have this app, so I'll do like this, and this is starting my application in gunicorn. So if I do 883, then I can see my Flask app, right? Okay, now we have created our first Flask application, and at the same time, when I run this app.py with just Python command, then I will run that in debug mode. I mean, the debug mode, I mean, I'm running this application with the server, which is coming into the Flask application by default. Okay, but if you run with the gunicorn, then you are running that application in production mode. Okay, so now I will write a Docker file which will containerize this application. Okay, so I will go here in the src, and I will okay, so I forgot one thing, so let's add the dependencies in the requirement txt file so that I can install that from my Docker application. Okay, so I'll just do this. So to do that, you have to do freeze command. So if you do pip freeze command, then you will see these are the different libraries that I have installed in this environment. Okay, so I will create a file for this. So pip freeze, and I will do this in requirements .txt file. Okay, so if you now check, I will have this file. So requirements will also add other dependencies. So what I will do is, since I just installed these two, okay, I want to make sure that requirements only has these two. So you can just delete other things, and I'll just do this. So now you have the requirements.txt, and I will do is I will add requirements.txt. At the same time, I will add this unnecessary things to the git ignore file. Okay, so yeah, and dot git ignore. And now if I do git commit, I will see that I add requirements file. Okay, now our requirements files are ready. Now I will create a docker file. So for that, I will just add docker file. Okay, and in the docker file, I will start from a Python image. So I will just do from let's say Python, and I will go with 3.7, and I'll go with slim buster. Okay, slim buster. So you may agree with using other Python images also, but this slim buster is one of the lightweight Python images. I don't recommend using Python Alpine, because Alpine is also very lightweight, but they have some issues. So I recommend to go with this slim buster. Okay, and now I'll write the steps. Okay, in docker file you just write the steps to build your application or to containerize your application. And the best practice to create the docker file is to make sure that you install everything that your application needs. So I'll just first do this copy requirements files. So copy requirements.txt, right? And I'll do this, and I will run pip install -r requirements.txt file. Okay, so this will install the requirements file, and then I will copy my src file. So let's say I'm inside the src, so I just have to do dot, and I will just copy this maybe to app file. Okay, and then I will just create work dir to app, and let's say I will also do one thing. So remember I created this gunicorn file. So gunicorn, I will I will create a script for this file. So inside the src, I will just add deploy.sh. Okay, and I will just run this, and I will make it executable. To do that, I will add the shebang line. So bin just do sh. Okay, and I'll make this executable. So chmod this to deploy.sh. Now if you run this deploy.sh, it will run my application. Okay, so I have this deploy.sh. I create the docker file. I am creating everything. Now I add this entry point to ./deploy.sh. Okay, so in the docker file, what am I doing is I'm just writing the instructions to containerize my application. So now let's build the docker image. Okay, so I am in the one file. So let me switch to my directory here, and I will also, okay, I don't need to activate the here virtual environment, but let's me do so docker build dash d simple. Okay, let's just simple Flask app. So I'll just do simple Flask app. Okay, docker build, and I'm doing this from my current directory. But Okay, so I forgot one thing. So in Docker file, I'm copying everything to the app file, right? Like this git ignore file, there is also the docker ignore file where you can list all the files and folders which you don't want to include in the image. Okay, since this venv image, this I don't want to copy, I'll just put here the venv. Okay, I'll just put it here venv, and I also will do this git ignore things. Okay, in the docker file, docker ignore, I'll just add these files as well. Okay, so I don't have to copy everything. And I don't want to git ignore as well. So I have this and I'll do this. So it is my building my application. So it is copying this requirements file and then running the pip install thing. Okay, Flask is installed. Now it is my copy my application to the app. Okay, now my image is done. Image is built, and so if I do the docker image ls, and my simple Flask app, it is built 0 second and the size is just 166 MB. Okay, so 10 seconds ago 66 MB. Now what I will do is I will log in to my Docker Hub. So okay, I'm already logged in, so I will push. Let me check my Docker Hub account. Let me just close these extra things, and Docker Hub. Okay, so here I have some public images, so I'll push my image here. Okay, so and I'll just do docker. I will docker image. Let me just push. Okay, docker. Let's first run run this application inside my computer. Okay, so docker run, and I will just port forward this application to. Is this running? Okay, so I'll just close this. Okay, I'll just run my application first. So docker run, I'll just port 8080. Let me just check deploy. So my application will be running on this, right? So I'll just docker run, and I'll just port forward my computer's 8080 to 8083 of the container, and my container's name is simple simple Flask app. Okay, yeah, simple Flask app. So let's check. Okay, cool. So if I go to the my local host 8080, then you will see I'm running this application from my computers, because my computer's 8080 is mapped to 8083 of the container. Then so container, I am able to access this. Otherwise we cannot access this. Okay, so let me stop this container. So docker ps, if you do docker ps, it will show you the running containers. So I'll just stop this. Okay, so it will be stopped. So yeah, okay, now I will docker. I will let me check with the docker hub push image. uh, so I will just Okay, so I will just have to tag my, okay, so I will tag my docker tag simple Flask app to my simple Flask app. Okay, and docker push, I will just put Yogin 48. This Yogin 48 is my username, so simple Flask app. Okay, so I'm now sending my image, my application to my Docker Hub account. So if you check my Docker Hub account, Docker Hub, so go here. See here, you can see. Okay, my Flask application is pushed. Okay,